The teams are now making their way out to the pitch for this final group match for both sides. Stellenbosch will be at Loughborough tomorrow. Crystal Palace would love to join them there. This could be a dress rehearsal for the final. Everton, of course, the favourites at the moment to make it there, but Palace will look to put the pressure on. And it goes all the way through, and Benamar just swiped at it as it came across the 6-yard box, tried to really rifle it into the net, went for pure power and completely miskicked it.
What about that for a miss? Unfortunately for Benamar, that was a golden opportunity.
Just a couple of minutes to go until half-time. It does look as though we'll be all square going into the break, which is probably a fair reflection of the flow of the game. I suspect both managers will be reasonably happy. Here's a chance though, and it is almost bent into the far corner. Took it beautifully in his stride there, Aventure.
Well, that all comes from originally the little passing move working Palace out of position, and it allowed Aventure to find that space as his man just lost him. But that's what Aventure had been doing all game so far when he'd been on this pitch. He's now moved over to the left, and it seems to have been a better position for him.
Walking slowly back to the bench and having a few conversations with the coaches as the ball comes into the box. And it's Benamar who went with his head. I think that's going to be a penalty. Benamar was brought down, and it was a high foot as well. Just bundled him over. Bravery from the left back. I think the referee had no choice. Which he doesn't. It's saved onto the post. Still not clear though. And it's another brilliant block. And look at the celebrations as if they've scored a goal, Stellenbosch, but Benji Casey was denied.
That's a superb save from the goalkeeper. He's substituted goalkeeper, actually. What a way to have your first involvement in the tournament, Ben, to keep his side in this one. And what a phenomenal save. Everton playing later, he needed to tuck that away.
That's going to come into the path of Topley, and the keeper is in no man's land. And fortunately for Palace, Muwana was on the line.
Well, they've definitely been on top since the penalty miss.
Here's the Major again. Instruction seems to be to get the ball to him by hook or by crook at the moment. Worked inside, out it goes, and delivered into a decent area, and it's glanced in at the back post by Ahmed, who gives Stellenbosch the lead. And just look at those celebrations.
Well, if anyone has deserved a goal this tournament, I'd have to argue a strong case for Ahmed, and he's finally got it. He's been so good defensively, but somehow finds himself in the middle of the box, but at just the right time. And what a brilliant cross this is from the right-hand side, where he is so used to being from Slade, and he's going to be so happy to help out his teammate and his captain get on the score sheet. You'd expect Major, Topley, Plates, one of those men to be in the centre of the box, but they will draw to the front post. But this main man in this South African side, he knew where the ball was going to land. He knew where to be, and he definitely knew how to head that home. He found the bottom corner perfectly, stretching with a diving header.
With about 10 minutes to go, but good enough condition to be introduced today. And that's another one for Hill to think about, just over the top of his bar though. And, well, the header from King just didn't have enough on it. Just glanced it wide. That was an opportunity.
Did what you have to there. Passman covered that near post really well. He never really looked to be in too much danger, but of course always worth the attempt there by Austin to catch the goalkeeper out when he's least expecting it. And at least he got it on target.
Delivery is a difficult one for the keeper to deal with. It's going to come from Williams. And it took a nick off his own man, I think. Casey in by Cowan and headed goalwards, but over the bar.
That's a really good move there from Crystal Palace, and hopefully this just gives them a bit of mojo.
Popping up in wide areas. He's almost in holding midfield there.
Yeah, he's loved having more minutes in today's game than he probably has had in past games, but no, he's making the most of that time on the pitch as well. It's really unfortunate.
Chance here to round it off, and if it wasn't for Marcus Hill, they might have done through Topley. Another chance presents itself, but that was an important block. Another shot comes in from Avantier, and that was high, wide, and not very handsome from Zenden Bell.
Despite the heat of the moment, really good mental strength.
The major, and look at the space that's opened up for Avantier, who's bearing down on goal. He still can't finish it though for Stellenbosch. Palace somehow survived that moment. It could have easily been 2-0.
I bet Andreas is wishing he left that to at least go out for the corner to relieve some of the pressure that Palace are going to mount. But Avantier, what an opportunity to put this game to bed and get the first 2-0.
Forward it goes. But Stellenbosch are first to everything, and the victory is confirmed. With Liam Slade, will kick things off in a brilliant way. Calmly dispatched. Stellenbosch haven't had much joy with these shootouts, Ollie, but that will get them off to a good start. Cormac Austin look to level things up, and emphatically does.
Well, that's confidence personified. It's never easy to hit a powerful penalty. The referee's growing a bit impatient.
Avantier scores, very similar penalty to the first, and these are confidently struck. Enrique Lameras up next for Palace. Makes no mistake. Calmly bends it into the far corner.
Yeah, more composed penalty, perhaps than what we've seen.
And again, it's the same corner, same result.
Yeah, Hill's frustrated. He's thinking, I need to stop gambling.
Sebastian Williams up next. And the Panenka is executed.
We'll talk about confidence. And he's just patted Passman as well on the back. Slight apology.
Palace understandably annoyed about the outcome as the major, with his unique style, prepares for his penalty. And makes no mistake, this time Hill did guess the right way, but that was so accurate from the major that it made no difference. Jerome Ossé also converts brilliantly. That side of the net's taken a real battering. If one was to miss and the other was to score, it would be all over. Zenden Bell hits the bar. And that could be the invitation for Palace to at least get something out of this. A chance to come away with something. And they will. George King rolls it into the bottom corner, and not too many celebrations from Palace. They've lost the game. They wanted 4 points this afternoon to pile the pressure onto group leaders Everton, but they'll have to settle for one, and they'll be involved in a playoff match here at Bodymore Heath tomorrow. But Stellenbosch have made it 3 from 3, lost all shootouts, but most importantly, They've topped the overseas group, Ollie, and we'll be seeing them at Loughborough